Remember this abomination in the state of New Jersey with high school wrestling? Alan Maloney, a referee with a history of racism, policed black hair in a competition.
I'll just pick him up
Or this incident from Bruce High School with a black power lifter. How about Marissa Martino of Oregon, who was told she must go to the bathroom and cut her hair if she wanted to participate in a volleyball game?
It involves hair, specifically the hairstyles of young African Americans, and the controversial decision made by one school district that fed into a heated national debate.
As 15-year-old Deshanti Scott knows, hair can say so much about us. A cheerleader at Butler High in Louisville, Kentucky, she proudly wears hers in its natural, tightly curled state. So she was stunned this year when she saw her school's new dress code policy.
It was the hair, and I noticed that as you kept reading, it just added more and more hairstyles that were natural and mostly worn by black people.
Did it feel personal to you?
It felt very personal to me because I've worn those hairstyles.
Or a cheerleader at Butler Traditional High in Louisville. Here's the thing, it's not even just in high school or lower levels of competition.
The International Swimming Federation is now facing criticism after banning swim caps designed for natural black hair.
Does that work?
The organization claimed the special cap does not, quote, fit the natural form of the head. The British company Soul Cap responded in a statement that reads in part, quote, how do we achieve participation and representation in the world of competition swimmers if the governing body stops suitable swimwear being available to those who are underrepresented?
The hate that so many possess in positions of power within sports is beyond troubling. In Texas, one student and his family are standing up for themselves.
A school in Texas is defending its decision to suspend a black student for more than 2 weeks over his hair.
That student's name is Darryl George. He's just 17 years old, and as you can see, he has his hair in twisted dreadlocks. The school first suspended Darryl at the end of August and then just suspended him again yesterday.
All of this is despite a new law in Texas that just took effect. It's called the Crown Act. The acronym stands for, quote, create a respectful and open world for natural hair. And the law prohibits racial discrimination based on hairstyles.
Here's how ridiculous it got. Get this. The student would spend most of his junior year at his Texas high school in either in-school suspension or an off-site disciplinary program over the length of his hair. A punishment he took to a Fifth Circuit panel that also grilled his attorneys on if AI was used in their briefs.
What is the school district's code when it comes to hair?
Well, they're saying that his hair fall below his eyebrows when let down. It started like a couple of days before the Crown Act went in effect. They've been sending him to ISS in school suspension every day since then for his hair. And as you can see in the photos, his hair is not let down. His hair is kept up neatly. It is kept up, it's well groomed, and it's off his eyebrows, off his shoulders, it's off his earlobes. So I'm not understanding how he's being violated, how he's violating their policies anyways.
In short, this school district would ban male students from having hair past their eyebrows, earlobes, or the top of a shirt collar. The rule does not apply to female students. The main argument was this. George, a black male student who wore his hair in locks tied on top of his head, was found to be in violation of the policy because his hair exceeded the length limit when let down. The attorney representing Barbers Hill would say this rule applies to many places, and they would cite the military. Allie Booker, George's attorney, seen here on the left, would say, and I quote, when you advance the career readiness, there are thousands of jobs that people can have. And the only people that you discuss, the only jobs you discuss primarily were maybe like OSHA jobs, and they discussed military. But to me, that's a very small pool of the type of jobs. So I believe that that was arbitrary. Meanwhile, the U.S. District Judge, Jeff Brown, who was appointed by, of course, Donald John Trump, had ruled the hair length standard is not unconstitutional gender discrimination.
School officials reportedly reprimanded George multiple times for his hairstyle, saying that his dreadlocks violated this policy. Now, he's potentially facing placement in a disciplinary alternative education program. George's suspension happened just days after Texas's Crown Act took effect. The new law prevents race-based hair discrimination as well as prohibits schools and employers from reprimanding people based on hair texture or certain hairstyles including twists, braids, and dreadlocks. This case is testing the new law because although dreadlocks are a protected hairstyle, the school is arguing that it's not violating the Crown Act since hair length isn't protected by law, and that's what the school is concerned about. This majority white school district has suspended black students over their hairstyles before. 3 years prior to the Crown Act going into effect, 2 students were placed on suspension for their dreadlocks, with the school making them choose between cutting their hair or being enrolled in an alternate school. Civil rights advocates worry that hair-focused dress codes such as the one at Barbers Hill can lead not just to racial, cultural, or religious discrimination, but also to discrimination based on outdated gender norms, such as this idea that men should have short hair. And for many cultures, hair isn't just about looks. Dreadlocks, for instance, are a way to connect to one's black heritage, according to advocates.
Joseph Plumbar, another attorney for George, would argue the following: that long hair is integral to George's style of locks. Quote, "My hair can't go in dreadlocks right now. I have short hair. I can't braid my hair. In order to do that, you have to have a length. So we believe that that is something that maybe not specifically was discussed in the Crown Act, but was very well intended to be protected."
It's put a lot of emotions on me, you know, anger, sadness. I don't know, it just makes me feel angry, very angry that, you know, throughout all these years, throughout all the fighting for the black history that we've already done, we still have to do this again and again and again. Is ridiculous. It feels lonely, like very lonely. Like, you know, when you're the only one stuck in a room for a whole semester, a whole year at that, it's just like it makes you feel some type of way because you can't be a child like everybody else. You know, you see everybody else walking around, talking, laughing. You can't do that.
Hey, I appreciate you watching. Now, if you can, please do become a channel member by going to youtube.com/tytsports and clicking the join button. If that's too much for you, you can just go to tyt.com/join to become a member. It helps all of us out here at the Young Turks and keeps our network afloat. In addition, you could follow me on my socials on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate the love. Have a great day.